a staggering, sophisticated chiasm, verses that surround a central pivot. What is the pivot? What is the center of the surah? Verses 142 to 152. This is the central ideas of the surah. So you have A and A prime, faith versus the unbelief, Iman and Kufr. B and B prime, Allah's creation. C and C prime, deliverance of law. D and D prime, being tested. Now notice, how was the Quran revealed to the Prophet ﷺ? It wasn't revealed, Fatiha, you're done. Baqarah, you're done. Ali Imran, you're done. That's the canonical order. That's not how it was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ. That's how he arranged it, with Jibreel alayhi salam. So when he's receiving Quran, he's receiving a few ayahs, put this in Al-Ma'idah, put this in An-Nisa, put this in Ali Imran. And you look at the end, the final composition of these surahs, and you find something like this, without him writing something down. Impossible. I guarantee you. This is impossible. Because every surah is like this. There's a symmetry to all these surahs. That guy, Michel Kuipers, I talked about earlier, he wrote a book called The Banquet, a compositional study of Surah Al-Ma'idah. He says you find this in Surah Al-Ma'idah. And Nabi al-Ummi, an unlettered prophet, able to produce something like this. This is a wahy. There's no doubt about it. There's no way you can do this without writing things, without a computer. Even with a computer, you'll be hard pressed to do something like this. So what is at the heart of Al-Baqarah? 7 ideas. Verses 142 to 152, the change of the Qibla from Jerusalem to Mecca. That does not mean that Jerusalem's not important. It's still important. People say, oh, it's replaced, it's no. No. Al-Quds, still important. Right? But there's a change from the Qibla, from Jerusalem to Mecca. The close relationship between Allah and His Messenger, and the Messenger with us. قَدْ نَرَى تُقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. We see you looking at the heavens, looking at the sky. The Prophet ﷺ in dua, he just went like this, he looked at the sky. فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا. We will turn you to a qibla that pleases you. The Prophet ﷺ looked to the sky. In his heart, he had a dua. I wish the qibla was Mecca. Allah revealed the ayah. فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. Turn your face towards the inviolable mosque in Mecca. وَحَيْثُ مَا كُنْتُمْ تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرًا. Iltifat. So it went from wajhika to wujuhakum. It went from turn your face, without skipping a beat, to turn your faces. So who is Allah addressing now? So He's addressing the Prophet ﷺ. Wajhika, kaf fi top, second person masculine singular. But who is wujuhakum? Who is it? The ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes from addressing the Prophet immediately to addressing the ummah of the Prophet as a way of tashrif, as a way of honoring the ummah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Muslims are a middle nation. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. What verse is this? 143. Out of what? 286. أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. Wasat. You are a middle nation. It's just coincidence, apparently. يَعْرِفُونَهُ كَمَا يَعْرِفُونَ أَبْنَاءَهُمْ. The people of the book that recognize the Prophet. Recognition means they already knew him. That's what عَرَفَ يَعْرِفُ مَعْرِفَ means to recognize something you already knew. It's like, oh, I know him. When he came into Medina, عَرَفْتُ أَنَّ وَجْهَهُ لَيْسَ بِوَجْهِ كَذَّابٍ. عَرَفْتُ. Abdullah ibn Salam, a Jewish scholar, I recognized his face. It's not the face of a liar. Why? Because his description is in their books. They know him like they know one of their own sons. In Sahih al-Bukhari, we read that the Jews would sit عند النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يتعاطسون. They would sneeze on purpose. يرجون أن يقول لهم يرحمكم الله. They would sneeze on purpose in hopes that the Prophet ﷺ would say to them, may Allah have mercy on you, because they knew he was a prophet. But they would remain Jews. And maybe there was some, family pressure and things like that. Maybe some of them. But the Prophet ﷺ, when that would happen, he would say, Allahu yahdikum wa yuslihu ba'alakum. Allah guide you and correct your understanding. Fear only Allah. The blessing of the Prophet ﷺ. Again, this is the center of Al-Baqarah. Everything else sort of revolves around these themes. It's all wahi. It's all equally important, right? Because it's all wahi. But these are the central ideas. The blessing of the Prophet. The Prophet teaches us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, bi kitab and hikmah. And hikmah is the sunnah. وَالسُنَّةُ تُفَسِّرُ الْقُرْآنِ. The sunnah exegetes the Qur'an. And tazkiyah, and he purifies you, ihsan. He gives you knowledge as to how to become dear and near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is ihsan. To worship Allah as though you see Him. And if you can't see Him, know that He sees you. To enter into a relationship of love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tazkiyah to nafs. To draw out the diseases of the hearts. And Imam al-Ghazali says, these are the durar, these are the pearls we talked about earlier. There's verses in the Quran he calls the pearls. They teach you the straight path. And part and parcel to the path, he says, is takhliya. Takhliya means a type of emptying the nafs of vice, of kibr, of riyah, of ujub, all of these diseases of the heart. The Quran tells us how to do this. The Sunnah tells us how to do this. And then he says there's tahliya. There's a way of adorning the nafs. So first you purge the nafs of vice, and then you take on prophetic qualities, the qualities of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ.